on the red planet too.
And we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody here. Big Frog is already here. Big Frog was here early tonight. And there's Billy at Strong's Adventure. I am not giving this a like till I see if I like it. I totally understand. I might not even talk until I see I like it. It happens. You know, sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand, Billy. Sometimes you have to say, look, I'm not paying for nothing here. I want some value. But in the meantime, welcome to Bill Marionettes for Life. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, except for Billy, who's holding out for a better deal. And I understand. Sometimes you have to be a tough negotiator in, streaming. You know what, guys? This would have been the last night, but we extended till tomorrow night. So I am pumped that we have tonight, tomorrow night, that we've done it, man. We have killed this thing. It looks like Santa set the house. He did. And that's the whole idea. Look, he looks a little stoned while he's painting. He looks a little drunk, maybe. Bill, are you doing the electrical work on that house? You don't want to see me do electrical work. I worked as I don't know what you'd call it, a low man electrician guy, I don't know. It was years ago during the recession and just having to make extra money. And, the crew was great. Everybody liked me and I liked everybody. Okay. But I think I was as glad to leave as they were glad for me to leave. I'm still friends with all of them, and we laugh about the electrical time I spent with electricity. It was fine. Bill, are you doing it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. I went shopping today. Today, Carol and I put off our Christmas shopping every year since we've known each other. So for 20 plus years, we put our shopping off until literally most of the time Christmas Eve. I'm buying gifts Christmas Eve. And we thought we were doing well this year because we actually started the day before Christmas Eve. I was proud. I was honestly proud. I'll say this. Carolyn actually got started 2 weeks ago for the grandkids. But it was for Dad. It wasn't for us. It was for Dad. She was ordering something online for Dad for the grandkids. So, but that doesn't really count. You would have seen us. It was hilarious. Literally since 8:30 this morning, we're at it. It was hilarious. And here's the thing. We got to talk about this holiday season. And again, not a political stand. I'm not trying to get political. I just want to talk marketing, customer service, what Christmas decorations. I'm trying to figure this thing out. There was a time when you went to the mall and it was like Christmas was just shoved down your throat and you loved it. It was a part of it and it was miserable. And the people ran you over and punched you, and it was fine. Everything was fine. It was good times. Everybody's singing Christmas Carol while they're flipping you a bird or whatever. You got a coffee buzz and you're going. Not the case over the past several years. Over the past several years, everybody's phoning in their Christmas decorations. Like Walmart, Target, it's like you wouldn't even know it's Christmas. I'm not trying to be like, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to call customer service. I'm not upset about it or anything. Maybe a little. I just want to know what happened to Christmas. Doesn't it help shopping? Doesn't it help business for people to be Christmassy? Doesn't it make us want to go in debt and borrow money to buy Christmas gifts? Come on, people. That's the American way. We've been doing that since 1944 or 43, whenever it was when they moved Thanksgiving back a week to give us an extra shopping day. Strong's Adventure says, the mall? How old are you? Exactly. You know what malls are? I told Shane this today. Malls are modern flea markets for Generation X. You know how for our grandparents, the flea market was where you go on Saturday to catch up on business and news and get a deal or something. You kind of networked. I remember going with my grandfather to the flea market. It was like an indoor Gibraltar Trade Center up in Detroit. If you're watching the playback and you're from Michigan. And Gibraltar, it's like an giant indoor flea market. And those popped up all over the country during the 80s. Maybe before that. I don't know. But anyway, it's it's just a flea market, but indoors. And all the stuff that you would expect from a flea market. That's what malls, and again, Hamilton Place is a nice mall. That's what malls have turned into. They're basically flea markets of 2025. I'm just saying. Best Buy, I think there was one person working per 1,000. So you have to wait there because they have to go in back and they have to get what you're needing and all that stuff. And so I'm talking to the little fella and he's telling me, yeah, he was teaching 8th grade school. And then I'm like, Okay, and why are you here selling me whatever I was buying? Because I don't want my kids to watch this and find out what I was buying. But so it's just, I was like, wow, I'm not sure what's worse, the retail business or teaching schools. I want to say, bless your heart, man. Let me just pray right now. Walter Langston is in the house. Hi, everyone. Hello, Walter, West Virginia, wild and wonderful Walter. It's Neil. No, I'm going to spend only cash to buy presents. Good for you, Neil. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Spend cash. You spend cash and you feel better about it in January. Am I right? Am I right? Of course, I'm using sarcasm here when I say go out and borrow money. Of course, you shouldn't do that. That's terrible. But honestly, consumerism, capitalism, and I am capitalist. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not being political at all. I'm just saying the atmosphere that you kind of want at your retailer is Christmassy. Right? Am I wrong? Come on, fire me up in the comments. You guys blow me up here. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm wanting the dancing Santa Clauses all going off at the same time, kids getting in trouble for playing with the toys. We don't even have a Toys R Us anymore. So you're limited to Walmart and Target, the French Walmart. Strong's Adventure said, I really miss the malls at Christmas. I do too. They had so many pop-up stores back in the day. They did. You had 15 different types of Hickory Farms. It wasn't just Hickory Farms. You had the generic Hickory Farms. I don't know what you'd call it. Maybe Polish Summers or something. I'm not sure. But it was just a different day and age, and it was fun. It was fun. You walked around. You could just walk around and just drink coffee and, laugh about it all. 2023 wasn't bad. There was a pretty good Christmas buzz in the air in 2023. But this year, it just seems, especially for how late we are in the hour of Christmas season, you would think it would be more happening. Walmart, we had to go by and pick up something at Walmart tonight for the grandkids. By the way, toys are terrible now. Toys are terrible. They're all safe. They're all friendly. It's awful. It's plastic and hard. It's a long story. I don't know. If you don't have grandkids or if you don't have kids in that age group, it's depressing. It's you have to go to a hobby shop to actually, get toys that are violent and fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm not trying to be negative. I am in the Christmas spirit. That's the thing. I'm like St. Nick back there. I'm just in a zone painting my little house under the Aurora Borealis that I wired. So, I'm just trying to get it. I'm just trying to focus here. Walter Langston said, have not been to Walmart since yesterday. That's way too long. Strong says it best. Toys suck now. Bottom line, that's the great minds think alike right there. They're terrible. They're terrible. I'm trying to think, okay, look, I realize not all toys can be G.I. Joe and Star Wars. I think I grew up, Billy, I think you grew up, a lot of you guys grew up during the best toy era in history. I mean, it really was. The 80s, it was just awesome. You got brainwashed when you were a little kid at McDonald's with the Happy Meal thing. You're rewarded. That's what they say now, is that one of the reasons why we're so obese as a country is because, you get a toy every time you eat junk. So that makes you want to eat junk. I thought it was just because I like junky food. But no, it's McDonald's fault in giving us toys. Yes, we did. It was good times. I would not. Here's the thing. If I wasn't going to be raised during the 80s when I was raised, then I would want it to be in the 70s or 60s. I would not want to grow up right. I tell my kids, now they're in their 20s, but I tell my kids all the time, you didn't grow up in a good era. I don't want to reinforce any negativity. I'm always telling my kids, stop watching YouTube and all the, hey, let's try communism. Quit doing that. It's not as bad as they say, blah, blah, blah. And the other day I quit saying that. I did. I was like, okay, I don't know. Maybe you should read some history books. I'm not sure socialism is the right move for our country yet. Meanwhile, you get the medical bills in, and this is if you have insurance, and the payments would cost more than your mortgage. It's crazy right now. It's just nuts. I don't know. I'm just complaining. I'm old, and at this age, that's what happens. Big Gaz is in the house. Born in 53. You're born in 53, man. See, that's a great time to be born. 53. Now, well, I mean, every time is your time. So I'm not trying to say that if you're younger, you should be disparaging of the time that you live. If you're born in 53, though, come on, you grew up with good rock and roll. You had rock and roll well into your 30s. Beautiful. And you got to see some of the best economy. You saw some downturns too, and you came into your own during a time period in which a lot of the world was just rolling in a good way. Of course, you've also seen it come crashing down around you, but so that's a whole different story. Billy of Strong's Adventures. I didn't get that. I didn't get fat from eating the fries. I got fat because I wanted the toy from the Happy Meal, so I needed a Happy. Look, exactly. I didn't care about the Happy Meal. Most of the time, Mom and Dad's like, "You better eat your hamburger. You're not going to get that little 5-cent toy." That's most of the time. I think that's all garbage. I'm sure it's the Burger King's probably behind the whole push to make toys. You can't put them in the Happy Meals. I forget what the rule is now. It's probably Burger King. They're just tired of being last place all the time. I know that Saturday morning cartoons have not been the same. Not that I watch cartoons as an adult. I don't. I know some people do. I'm not too much into that. But when they made the law that says you can't advertise toys during cartoons, that was an epic fail, in my opinion. That's a shot right across the bow of capitalism there, people. Big Gaz says, I saw the Beatles. Oh, wow, that's cool. Okay, here, true story. Was not a Beatle fan. I grew up with Motown. Seriously, huge Motown fan. I'm a music guy. I'm a musician, so I'm a music person. I like all music. But as far as like what Mom and Dad listened to, it was Motown. Dad wasn't a big Beatles fan. And for some reason, I didn't gravitate towards the Beatles like in college when a lot of kids do when you're experimenting with a lot of things, but music in particular. And people kept saying, why don't you listen to the Beatles? Why don't you listen to the Beatles? I'm like, I discovered the Beatles for myself 7 years, something like that, 5 years ago, I want to say. And now I just absolutely love them. I feel like I've just discovered gold. Saw the Beatles live in Sydney. Well, from behind a post and couldn't hear anything due to the screaming. Teeny boppers. Still, though, man, you were there. And that is just, that's just true. I don't know. That's what your generation had. One of the things your generation had. You had a lot of things, but one of the things that your generation had that I just admire so much. We had stuff too. I always felt like a fish out of water or born out of time. I hated the music, generally speaking, that I was in high school. I graduated in 92. So the music from, like, let's say that whole period, it's like there were a couple of bangers in there, but as far as the overall grunge scene and all the dark, flannel and all, with the dark eyeliner for the girls and, all that stuff, it was depressing to me. And I longed for good rock and roll. I was like, what happened to rock and roll? Of course, I play guitar. I was all about rock bands and stuff. So for me, it was just yuck. So I had like a few bands that I followed, but I really got stuck in a rut for a long time where I just quit listening to any modern music. And it was like my rule was if it was after 1984, I really didn't want to hear it. I just didn't. Now, you have to break that rut, though, because you miss out on some really good musicians. And now we're in a weird time. We're in a time now where if you're listening to the radio, you're not really hearing the best music. Doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it. It doesn't mean that this isn't a criticism of what's on the radio. It's just the way radio works, the way production works in general. They're pushing their acts. What acts do they have? And so it's a legalized payola, if you will. Whereas here on YouTube, this is where to discover the greatest musicians, the greatest bands. I'll tell you what, a part of me is another reason why I'm glad I didn't grow up in this era is because I think I would have quit playing guitar because there are so many great guitarists online. I could play, when I was a kid, I could play just about any instrument. And, I'd pick it up, mandolin, violin, I'd pick it up and I'd try and, you can make noise out of it. You could get it to do something for a band or whatever. At a concert and you could pull something out. Here, I'll play the banjo here for this piece or whatever. You can mix it up. And I don't know, man. After watching some of the people on YouTube, not some, just how many talented, just unbelievably talented people there are. But hey, what are you going to do? Strong says, MeTV has the cartoons that we grew up with on every morning. And listen, not to plug YouTube again, not that I'm trying to overplug YouTube or underplug it. You here on YouTube, there was a GI Joe channel that played the GI Joe cartoons like 24 hours a day, and they were streaming these cartoons. I don't know what was going on there, but man, I sat for an hour and a half going, I remember that episode. It was awesome. But YouTube has everything now, and I don't know how long that will last. It's a great platform for myself and Walter and Billy and a few of you guys who have channels. It's a great platform to like exercise some creativity, go through a midlife crisis, whatever. And it's a great place for that. But the talent and just what you can discover. I said earlier that I liked Motown a whole lot, the soul music of the 60s. And there's a reason why. Let me explain that real quick, because you're like, Bill, really? Let me explain that real quick. First of all, it's a full sound. In other words, from the arranging to the lyrics to you're getting a lot of music on every single release. Every single, like you get one of the Temptations albums. Every single song on there is just incredible as far as the arrangement and the musicians. Just the artistry of it is just unbelievable. And so that's why I love Motown. Here on YouTube, I can find cuts and arrangements of, let's say, the Temptations that they never released it. It's just stuff that was on the cutting room floor that they released here. And of course, you get the remixes that people like. I won't say like myself because I don't do remixes, but other people that are content creators that do remixes. That's what their channel is. Just phenomenal, just unbelievable. And that's a big thing now too. Remixes are awesome. I made everybody mad at the office. Not mad. It was kind of humorous. Like, oh my gosh, I had All I Want for Christmas Is You on my laptop on a 2-hour loop, to where as soon as it would stop, it would just continue again. It was great. It was just torture for everybody. I love the song, but really it was just to torture everybody. Hey, Bubba Louie, you all right? Sorry, right? It's good to see everybody, though. I'm so glad that you're here and spending this time with me. Is everybody got to shopping? Do you guys shop? Do you let your wives shop? How do you work this for Christmas? Do you care? Do you even care? Do you even buy gifts anymore? I told my wife, one of these days, the kids are going to buy something for me. I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe it's the casket at the end of the day. Whatever, that's fine. I'll take that. I think they're punishing me in advance for all the debt that I'm going to leave them. I'm kidding. But still, my kids feel no obligation at all to get me anything. I've always, you don't have to get dad anything. But this year, I looked at Carol and I'm like, I wish I was getting something this year. As you're swiping that card, the card's like red hot. The bank is calling. You know what I'm saying? The sheriff's following me around town going, is that your credit? You're like, yeah, it's mine. Looks pretty hot. Like, yeah, I know. Got a big hole in my jeans from where credit card's in there. And it's a check card. It's not a credit card, but still. And I'm like, what do I get out of this? Nothing. Well, it's better to give than receive. Well, yeah, it is. But I think it's talking about unfortunate people that you're giving to, that's probably, it's better to get. But I want to go, my kids are spoiled rotten. You guys all have jobs. Daddy needs a new set of headphones. Daddy needs a new camera. Daddy needs a receiver for a surround sound system. Daddy needs a new television. And the one I want's about $2,400. So I can't get that right now. Because why? Because I'm buying your gifts and going to these stores that don't have the Christmas spirit. This poor guy at Best Buy. We all know what teachers make. Crap. We all know that. I mean, you do okay when you've been in about 10 years and you got your master's. You're okay. But you're not killing it. I mean, you're not making a lot of money. You got some time off and maybe you continue your education, whatever. Maybe you're doing that. But the fact that he left teaching for a full-time position, it's actually with Apple, but in Best Buy. And he was considering himself lucky that Apple was hiring college graduates and hired him. I didn't want to poke and prod too much. He's from Boston, and you guys know Mark Sesowitz, who comes in here a lot, and I love Mark. He's a great guy. We became pretty good friends a few years ago. Talked on the phone, stuff like that. And Mark, being from Boston, there's profanity, and then there's Massachusetts profanity, right? People from Boston, they're going to say words, and it's a part of their vernacular. And I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, that's Some people, that's just how they were, whatever. So no judgmental stuff here. But it's hilarious. We're in Best Buy. He's an employee of Apple or whatever, and he's dropping one F-bomb after another, and it's cracking me. And Carol and I are rolling, just because he's just bold. You can just tell he's from Boston, man. He's just all over it. But anyway, he was a great guy. But my heart, he had taught in the inner city for like 7 years and just got real burnout, felt, I don't know, like it was a losing battle. And because I'm sure it feels like that. And just feeling bad for, these poor guys that are working on Christmas and during the Christmas week. These guys are killing themselves. They are, because corporate America, there's a rumor out that we are in a passive recession and that we're going to be in one big time next year. I don't know if that's true. I think sometimes we panic ahead of time because it's fun to talk about. But for whatever reason, corporate America, they stopped hiring as many people over the past several months. And so there was no help. Anywhere we went, like the lines were long, and even though the crowds weren't as big. And so you can tell there's been some cutbacks in this, that, and the other. So it's just one of those like years where you want to go, you know what, this is silly. So I was thinking, what we need is a good natural disaster. Hear me out on this. First of all, YouTube, Strong says YouTube is the poor man's Corvette in a midlife. It's a poor, that's great. It's the poor man's Corvette without the gold chain, right? In a midlife crisis. Exactly. I never put it together when I started this channel that I was approaching or in midlife, whatever. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that I was editing videos on my phone. I just learned how to do something. I'm not sure that what I do now is called editing, but I thought it was the neatest thing ever. But looking back, I'm like, man, I had to have been a poster child for midlife crisis, But nobody has said that to me yet, but they're thinking it. Come on. Big Gaz says, my Christmas gift to you, Bill, wombats, poop cubes. It's better to get. Thank you. I'm just glad that you're giving to somebody like me, just a little me. And I promise you that those wombat poop cubes, they will go to good use. I will give to others. I will cube it out to other people. I will. But it's not that I'm needing the poop cubes from my subscribers and loyal live stream companions. No. It's my kids. One day, maybe it's the coffin. I don't know. But one day they are going to celebrate Christmas and be like, Dad, since you raised us and you sacrificed your amazing career in rock and roll just for us, here we are. We're going to get you this recliner. Even though I have a recliner, I'll take the recliner that they give. And even though they'll probably buy me a cheap one that I don't like, it's fine. I'll take it because it's the thought that counts. Unless it's like a really cheap thought. I'm just saying. True, it's cube-shaped. Dried. Really? No joke real quick. Big Gaz, seriously? They poop cubes. No joke. Listen, I'm not into poop. I'm not. I know there are rumors, but I'm not. How is it possible to poop cubes? Somebody help me with this. Is the sphincter square? Holy cow. No joke. You're going to make me Google this later. I'm going to have to Google that. There's no way. I don't even want to know how that's possible. Yes, I do. I am dying to know that. And why didn't my biology teacher? I might have loved biology if we could have talked about pooping cubes. I'm just serious. One time in college, I was in ninth grade, or not college. I was in college as a freshman, and I was 19. And Dr. Dan Covington, Dr. Death, they called him, horrible. He's a great biology teacher. Just his personality just sucked. But we had to pitch for one of the 300 level classes. We had to pitch ideas to teach biology better to people that were coming of age or whatever. And I pitched something that he made fun of. And I pitched doing alien biology. Hear me out. I understand you can't dissect an alien cadaver because they dissect us, right? Right. It was basically the whole idea was like a cryptoid kind of class. Now, you say, Bill, what are you talking about? That sounds crazy. All right, hear me out. Because at the time, what was in vogue, it's in vogue now at universities all across the U.S., was teaching things like dinosaur biology, where, of course, you can't dissect a dinosaur, but you can learn a lot about how we come to conclusions in anatomy physiology by understanding if the bone is this big, then it has to be this, and it's one of those puzzles. It's like forensics, a little bit like forensics, right? So I was just applying the same logic to aliens. Would you know, 20 plus 30, well, how many ever years later, they're teaching that kind of stuff on campuses all over, and I was way ahead of my time. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call him in Texas. He's retired now, and I'm just going to yell, and I'm going to say, you need to get me something for Christmas, man, you cheap person. Good fire start. That's crazy. They stacked them to mark their territory. Okay, but wait a minute. So they don't come out that way. It's just the stack. Okay, help me here. Do they come out that, like, no joke, guys? Look, I know this is setting myself up for sophomore humor. That's fine. We can do that too. But I'm just wanting to know if it comes out that way. Or are they shaping it? I mean, either way, my mind's blown. I think they are aliens, Bill. Anything that poops a cube can't be from this planet. I'm telling you, dude, you can't be. It's like you can't even really poop a circle. I mean, you're not. They're spheroid. We could say spheroid. Sometimes they're spheroid. Sometimes they're cylinder, right? But they come out that way. There's Big Gaz. I've got to look into this. We're going to find out. I might make a video just about the sphincter of the wombat. How come nobody talks about this? This should be a YouTube. Somebody's lane has got to be poop and all things poop, and they need to put this out. This is great. Square poop. Who would have thought? I don't think I've ever seen square poop ever. No. Spheroid, yes. Cylindrical, yes. Cylindrical, is that right? I think that's right. I think so. Pretty sure. So being an electrician, let's talk about that, Billy. Electrician work. I didn't mind. It was for like home construction, and I hired. It's a long story, and I don't want to tell the whole story yet. Just the whole point of I hadn't gotten to wiring boxes yet. I hadn't got to that part. It was just the whole, you're pulling wires through the house. You're setting up your boxes, things like that. The small boxes, no big deal. I was just incredibly bored, and because I thought, this is not the kind of electricity I want to work with. I want big electricity. I want Tesla electricity. I want some real, because I just felt like I was just like, I don't know, laying carpet, which is fine. Listen, I'm not putting any of that down. I'm just saying, you're dealing with the power, man. You're dealing with, around here, nuclear reactors. I don't know about where you guys live if you're using coal or whatever, because those type of power generators are definitely out there. Ask China. But I'm just, if you're going to do it, I wanted to do it right, Bryn G! Merry Christmas, Bryn G. Good to see you. And are you talking, dude? Okay, Bryn, just hear me before you go. First of all, Merry Christmas to you. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope everything's okay. Here's what we're talking about. Big Gaz is from Australia, and he's telling us that a wombat poops in squares. And I'm just saying square poop. SpongeBob square poop, right? There you go, Bryn. That's something for you. Go Google it when you get time. I hope things are better for you. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Oh, Lord, I don't know if I have enough beers for this. Well, the store's up the road. Send Rhonda up there and she can, go to the cooler. Do you guys have those walk-in fridges things that people have here? Bryn says, oh, that's the poop you were talking about. Yes, it's square poop. I'm sorry. And Big Gaz says that the wombat stacks it. So I'm thinking it's a pyramid, like an ancient pyramid looking thing. And depending on what the wombat eats determines its color. So I'm talking about art here. I'm talking about true art. Because it'd be cool if he did stack it in a pyramid. Because occasionally, that has to happen statistically. A pyramid, why not? It's a real thing. I believe you. I totally believe you. It's not that. I'm just blown away. But I'm getting into the mechanics of it. Like, okay, so you're stacking it. You're stacking the pyramid. You're stacking it in a square. Because it's going to come out, like, somebody's going to walk around. They're going to be like, wow, ancient people build this. That is too funny. I will definitely Google it. I know. I'm talking about right after this and after I finished my Nutcracker video that I've been working on forever and can't finish, even though it's not even 8 minutes long because I don't have time to do anything. But that's the whole point. I got a call today. I'm not even supposed to be working this week. I'm working tomorrow night, but I'm supposed to be off this week. And I got a call. It's like, need you to go down. I need you to get a document, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm off. It wasn't my boss. It was somebody connected or whatever that you say yes to. And so I set the alarm off at the church. It was hilarious. Speaking of electrician, I needed an electrician right then to like MacGyver or Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, that stuff. Anyway, Aussie elves used it to build their huts. I believe you. I believe that. Aussie elves. Now there's a tasty thing. Like, what do Aussie elves taste like? That's my question. That's interesting. Aussie elves. Bryn, you've missed a lot. You've missed a lot. I understand things happen, but we've been swapping recipes for elves, elf meat, and Ewoks. And it's been lively because I think it's on the menu for everybody. I have to actually go buy more tomorrow. What are Aussie elves? Elves from Australia. Unless I'm wrong, Big Gas can clarify, but I'm assuming elves from Australia. Walter Langston said, tonight was trying to live stream Christmas Light and lost the stream. And it is hard to live stream in West Virginia. I had some luck on Spruce Knob one time for like 15, 20 minutes, and the wind blew and it was gone. Just cell service in West Virginia is thankfully terrible. I love it. I love going to West Virginia and losing cell service almost when you cross the state line. And then it's just like, if you're in a town, it's fine. But as soon as you like leave the town, it's terrible. And even in town, it's not great. I love it. Because then people just can't call you. You get to isolate. But when it comes to streaming and things like that, not so much. And I think I looked at Starlink tonight at Best Buy, because you keep hearing about Starlink, Elon Musk, on Twitter and all that stuff. And so, but I've never looked into it. And I looked into it, and I think for what I want, for what I would need living in West Virginia or just visiting West Virginia, you could get by with the roaming Starlink for about $250 a month. But if you live there, like on one of those mountaintops over there, about 4,300 feet, surrounded by a wilderness area, that's what I want. You would have to have one for your house and then one to roam in. And that's about $400 a month. Still a little too high. That's way too high. Of course, you don't have to have cable at that point, or a phone, really. But you have to have a phone. You don't have to have a phone line. I'm just throwing that out there. It's free. Throwing that out there. I'm telling you, I'm going to end up in West Virginia. I'm just going to keep saying it. But it can't be just anywhere. It has to be in one of my favorite places. I love the northern part of not the far northern part of the state, just there in the middle. Around Monongahela. Love it. Love it. Would move there in a heartbeat if the Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Where I live, service is good, but just a short drive from here, not so much. I forget, what city do you live in, Walter? You've told me 50 times, and I can't remember. I cannot remember. You're not far from the newest national park in the country, New River Gorge National Park, which is a lovely national park. If you love rafting, in Big Frog, I'm not sure if you're still a fly on the wall right now, but I know, Big Frog, you live out Ocoee Way. And, of course, we here from Southeast Tennessee love our Ocoee River. We love our Hiwassee River. But rafting is a 10 in West Virginia on the Gauley, and they're at New River Gorge National Park. It's a 10. It makes and it's hard to believe because the Olympics were at the Ocoee, but in 96, but it makes the Ocoee look like small fries, man. And that's my river. The Ocoee River, Hiwassee River, those rivers are my river. But Nantahala, all of that, love it. But man, that is if you love rafting, that is where you go. If you love rafting and West Virginia maple syrup, that I'll be selling here soon. I'm telling you. I miss slamming the phone down, Big Gas says, when someone cheeses you up. Oh, man. When you just hit the button, the satisfaction just decreases so much. What is that? That doesn't do anything. But when you slam it down, they get all of that. They get that. It's like that loud crash and then silence. Man, that felt good. It's gone. It's over. But, I mean, you can. I'll tell you something my kids do, not just to me, but to other people. They do the whole, hey, I'm losing signal, but they're not. I caught them doing that. Hey, I'm losing signal now. I think that's the new hang up, Big Gas. It's just you pretend you're losing signal. Hey, I can't hear you right now. That's great. Brent G says, Big Gaz is 1953. Wow, thought you were kidding. It's true. Brand's great. Brand went and Googled that stuff. I got to know. Brand, share with all of us what you've learned about square poop. This is nuts, man. I'm gonna have to look at pictures and everything, and I hope nobody checks my browser history after this, because who looks at poop? But come on, Big Gaz, you have definitely. I was trying to think of a clever pun there, and I just couldn't think of anything too quickly. But yeah, you've definitely brought some. You've educated us tonight in a great way on this eve of Christmas Eve, this wonderful eve of Christmas Eve. I don't know what kind of accent that was, so I'm sorry. Walter says, I learned that it's square. What about a triangle poop? I think that's possible. That's probably possible for people. I don't know. I mean, you could get into fractals, and you could talk about fractals and the potential of, okay, I'll stop right there. I can't top that information. I can tell you all kinds of stupid, useless information about nutcrackers that most people, by the way, real quick, I do have a video coming out. It'll be late tonight. I'm not asking you to watch it tonight, but if you guys don't care, because releasing a video this late before Christmas, that's a Christmas-oriented video, yeah, they don't do well. So you're kind of putting it in the bank maybe for next year when the time comes around again or whatever. If you guys could watch that, like literally watch it, like keep the screen, I'm not saying stare at the screen, but you know what I'm saying? Like do the like button and all that. I would really, really appreciate it. Share it if you feel led. If you feel so inclined. The reason why is because it will die in place. A video that I released, I don't know, it's like right as Christmas was coming on, and we started live streaming. Live streaming kills our channel for some reason. So, I mean, you could see an arrow of our productivity when I started live streaming. I think it was last week, and the arrow it's just like a hockey stick, man, a reverse hockey stick. It's just terrible. So if you guys could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Next year is just a week away. It is. Next year is just a week away, and we've got some good things planned for next year. I would like to get out to Missouri. Like to get out there to Branson. Carol and I have never made a video in Branson because I always called Branson, Missouri, discount Gatlinburg. I did. I'm sorry. Any Branson fans in here? Anybody from Branson? Not trying to offend anybody. Matter of fact, if you like Branson, tell me why. Billy, you've been out there, surely. In your trailer days. I always call it trailer. What's the word that people use for that now? Fifth wheel? What are we calling? What are we calling your thing that you do when you pull the home behind you? So yeah. All right, Bryn, we will see you. Bryn's got to go. Good night to all. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We'll be on here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. But if you're busy, it's fine. It's Christmas. I totally understand. Bryn says that what her studies in the wombats found is that it's a territorial thing. That's really cool. Wow. Billy, you said that Branson is way better. No way. Okay, Billy, come on. Give me some copy here. Tell me why would Branson be better? There are no mountains there. I mean, it's They're hills. They're kind of mountains-ish, And yes, they're very wow, Easter is sneaking up on us. Only 117 days? Man. Wow. Brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, help me understand why Branson would be better. But maybe when I go out there, I'm going to be like, oh, I get it. This is it. I don't know. We'll see. We want to try to get out to Branson. Carol and I, we're going to Israel this year in May, unless something changes. And out there, anything can change anytime. But that's definite in that it's on the calendar. Money's been paid. Not all of it, but a lot of it has. So I'm trying to figure out, as far as, looking at the calendar and everything, what kind of videos you guys are wanting to see. Like I know Opryland, I get it. Cast iron pots, I got it. But what kind of videos do you think works well for us? What's better for us and all that? Be real. Big S says, Billy loves Branson. It's built to his height. I'm short, so that's for me too. I'm short. I need a real chair though. I'm sitting in a wicker chair. Not kidding you. And it's one of those wicker chairs like for playing bridge or something outside, which we don't play cards, but because I'm terrible and don't know any card games. But out on the back porch, that's where you would see this wicker chair. But I don't have an office chair at home. So Carolyn's got my office chair at work, and so I don't have one here at home. So I'm in the wicker chair. So I'm always having to lean forward and all that stuff in my makeshift studio. Matter of fact, tomorrow night, I'll actually have a picture up. I'm hoping, if I don't forget, behind me, but basically what the setup in here looks like from my point of view. And it's hysterical because it really takes if there is any magic in the studio, it takes it away, if there is any. Billy loves Branson, built to his height. Yeah, Branson is one of those places I'd like to get down. Billy, I'd like to get down to your place down there, and I'd like to hang out with you some, if that's okay, if you'll have me. But we're trying to get down that way to Louisiana and go down that way. We want to make some interesting videos. I know that one of the videos that Carol and I pitched this to her today, which was panning for gold. We want to do a panning for gold video. And Todd actually inspired that. He's been on here just about every night that we've been live streaming. He's a great guy. Just his whole family's great. I love him and his wife and his kids. I know them outside of the YouTube sphere. And they're just good people, salted earth people, hardworking people. Strong says, look, if you don't want me to come down, man, just tell me. Okay. You come up here. Let's hang out, man. Let's do that thing. But no, yeah, so we want to go panning for gold on one of our videos, like a first time panning for gold, like what we're going to, where we got our information, why we're going, where we're going, all that kind of stuff. And we want it to be somewhere pretty in the mountains, of course, because that's what we do. And basically spend like 2 days or 3 days or whatever, probably 2. That's all Carolyn could do, because Carolyn's like, so we're just going to sit there, pan for gold. I'm like, well, I don't know if we have much sitting there. Yeah, probably some. There's Todd. So yeah, Todd inspired that video. And so Todd said, I'm in, I'm just working. I'll give you what you need. Well, that'll be a part of it. You'll probably be on the video, Todd. So there you go. Probably heading to North Carolina for that video, I think. Just someplace where it's legal and I don't get arrested for panning for gold. But, and somewhere out in the middle of nowhere-ish. I'm not really wanting to be around 50 other people that honestly think they're going to get rich panning for gold. But it's something that I've always wanted to do for fun. Since Todd and I used to talk about it all the time. Todd's actually had a little bit of luck. And, I mean, I saw some of his findings. He brought them to the church one night. It was fun. And just kind of have that experience. I think that'd be great. So that's another video we talked about doing. Carol and I we rented a pontoon boat down in, what's it called? Not Gulf Shores, but Destin. And had a blast. Carol and I bass fish, not professionally, but like professional amateur fish tournaments. Until Carol and I got married. I was like 30 when we got married. So I had to like give up the bass boat. We're getting married, got 3 kids, all that kind of stuff. And so I got real serious. And it's not that I quit fishing. I just quit fishing what I call productive bass fishing, when you're trying to win money. But we've never been a boating family. Like, that's just not something we've done. And we had a blast. So we've thought about doing some of that kind of video stuff. I need to figure out a way here in the U.S. I want to rent a boat for the ocean. How do you do that? How do you rent a boat and be like, they give you the keys and they trust you to take it, a couple miles offshore, maybe 10 miles offshore, 20 miles. And like, you can spend the night and come back. No harm, no foul. Is that even possible? You need to go to the Crater Diamond. I'll write that down because I don't know that I've heard of that one. The Crater Diamond. What's up with the Crater Diamond? The Crater Diamond. Okay. The relationship between people who live in Arkansas and Louisiana fascinates me. And here's why. Because being out there with some friends of mine, they're deeply connected to some people from Louisiana, back and forth, like friendships and stuff. And there's just a lot of business between the two areas. It's just kind of a cool little ditty. The food there is very, especially around Jonesboro, Arkansas, huge Cajun influence. It's kind of cool, kind of neat. Crater of Diamond, Arkansas. You'll find jewels and such. Oh, okay. So it's like, okay, I got you. So it's a place you can pan and do that kind of thing, or is it just like a Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge? Hey, you can mine gems here, and it's like you pay $10. They give you like a bag of sand, and occasionally they load it with something. Is it one of those? Those are such a ripoff. I hate those things. I don't want to do that kind of gold panning. I actually want to go to the middle of nowhere. Middle of nowhere. Somewhere, like I said, mountains of North Carolina, dirt road, middle of nowhere. And then you have this little bitty mountain creek, and like you can just stop and, there you go. Big Gas says, we have rentals here. I'm literally 90 minutes from the coast, rainforest, dams, rivers. What country? Diverse climate. Boy, that'd be awesome. That would be so cool. That'd be really cool. You're 90 minutes from the coast. That's awesome too. I mean, because that's like, it's like, okay, we're going to have seafood Friday. Okay, let me run down to the coast here and get like fresh seafood. That's something here. You could do it in Virginia where we lived at, but the seafood up there isn't as good as here as far as like you can get good fresh seafood. Don't get me wrong, but it's the menu is limited because it's not the Gulf, right? Gulf is the best seafood here in the U.S. That's where you're going to find all kinds of stuff. And so you can, from here, you can make it to, let's say, Destin in like 5.5 hours. And so you could bring back a cooler full of fresh fish, fresh seafood, whatever, and have it the next day. Not even have to spend the night down there. Not really. I mean, like if you're really wanting a fish fry, you can make that happen. But it's not necessarily practical. And so I would love, oh, thanks, Billy. Appreciate that. Sent me a website here to, I will check that out, man. No joke. Because we've not spent any time in Arkansas. And I'll tell you somewhere else we've not been is Texas. I was in Texas when I was a boy, but as far as like, okay, let's explore here. I don't have good memories of Texas as a kid, and I think that is why. I do New Mexico, but not Texas. We were in Amarillo for a month, and it was during the, I'm going way back here, probably 81 or 80. And somewhere around there, first, second grade, whatever. And it was during when the Detroit Diesel, General Motors, Ford, they laid off just thousands of people. And so thousands of people went down to Amarillo, that part of Texas, just to try to get a job on a rig, I guess. I guess that's how it was working. So all these campsites in the middle of winter, they were packed with people literally moving their entire family to Texas. And it was kind of depressing. It was kind of sad. For some reason, that burned into my mind. And then when we were in Dallas, the same year, it was like a year later, but the same year, we were in Dallas. And I remember that was for my getting the news that one of my grandfathers had died. It was like, it's just so, I have bad memories of Texas. I don't know why. So it's caused me to not be excited about visiting Texas. And I think it'd be a great, Amarillo, it's one of my favorite songs, actually. That guy's voice is just awesome. When that big moon rises, yeah, I'll let him sing it. But good song, great song. That's yeah. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that out around that time too? When I first fell in love with songwriting, was on the same track. I think I was older though. No, this is about 4 or 5 years later. But we were out west with my parents. And the song Counting Flowers on the Wall, the song, Statler Brothers. And I remember my dad just out of nowhere starts laughing. And he says, are you listening to that song? I was in 6th grade then. And I'm like, because I wasn't, I was in my own little world. And Dad's like, he was explaining what was happening in the song. And that moment, I just absolutely fell in love with songwriting. And God, I still try to write jingles. I'm not saying I'm any good at it. Now you got AI. Who cares now, right? But it was just a lot of fun. Country music is fun anyway when it comes to songwriting. It is. Come on, it is. Country music is a lot of fun. Country music is Motown. Hear me out on this, guys. I know you're like, what? No, hear me out. Because one of the main instruments in Motown is a Fender Telecaster played through a Fender Twin reverb. It's the same in country. Same in country. It's weird. I could go on and on. I won't bore you with it. It's just a different style of singing and different style of songwriting for that matter, but it's still the same thing. The Statler Brothers, great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Statler Brothers, Oak Ridge Boys. And listen, I know Alabama is played out. And I'm not talking about the football team. I'm talking about the Southern group, Alabama. I know they're played out. I know everybody gets tired of hearing Alabama on the radio but they are. It's kind of like the Eagles. They are very radio friendly. You know what I'm saying? They appeal to me, that's the artistry of it, is that they appeal to a lot of people, the sensibility of a lot of people. It's kind of cool. Walter Langston says, Strong says, oh, yes. Statler Brothers are great. Oak Ridge Boys. What's another one? Alabama is another one. And again, we talk about the Eagles. I know the Eagles are rock and roll, but are they really? If you think about it, they're not necessarily rock and roll. Sometimes, if you hold your head just right, the Eagles are just country with a little bit louder music, right? Right? I think so. I love country. I love country. I don't necessarily like the direction country started going in the 90s, even though I liked country music in the 90s. Country music became kind of my go-to. I said earlier that I started disliking music, but I started loving country music in the 90s, even though I recognized then that it was starting to sound an awful lot like pop did 10 years prior, and that hasn't changed. That's the same way now. I don't know that we have real country music now, like real country music. Like, like, what about Willie Nelson? Do we have a Willie Nelson out there? Do we have one? Waylon, do we have a Waylon? I mean, I can't think. I love Keith Urban. Keith Urban, he's a great guitarist. I liked, but the line there between Keith Urban and, well, I should say this, his early stuff 20 years ago, the line's thin, right, between that and just rock. Classic country songs here, Big Gas. There was a Redback on the toilet seat where I sat there last night. It's lonesome away from your kindred and all when you're in a bar of a pub with no beer. Oh my. There you go. It's lonesome when you're kindred and all when you are. I'll tell you, hey, you know what? That reminds me of this too, though. Any of you guys listen to Gaelic music, like Irish music? We call it Irish music, like Irish folk music or anything like that? Anybody? I got really into Irish folk music a few years ago. Still do. Still love them. I'm trying to think of the name of the group, though, right now. I'm losing the name in my head. What is the name of that group? I cannot think of them, but they sing a lot of songs that were already popular. They just bring a big band to it, and they dropped a bunch of videos on YouTube, I don't know, 10 years ago. They have millions and millions and millions of views. But if you go back, my roommate, my freshman year or my sophomore or junior year of college, he was from Ireland. His name was Kieran. Kieran, that's how you said it, Kieran. And he was great. He's redheaded, of course, freckles, the whole 9 yards. And he, instead of calling him cleats, he called them his soccer boots. He was great. He was just a great guy. But he had me listening to all this NRA music. No joke. Like, his grandparents were straight out of the NRA. Irish folk music is great. Also, sea shanties, the Irish Rovers. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to Google this. I know this is rude to do, but I'm pretty sure that's it. But I don't want to. That's one of the bands that I like. That's one of them. Hold on. Give me 1 second and I can tell you exactly. Because there's a song. They have a song that I won't play at my funeral. Like, that's depressing, but that's depressing to say. I want this played, but the High Kings. That's the one I was actually referring to. The High Kings. They're just awesome. YouTube was another. I'm a member of the Forget Your Name 5 Minutes After I Met You club. Dude, I think I'm one of the founders of that club. U2 was another. So do you count U2 as far as just a good band or a band that could be country, or so like U2 was another like just great because YouTube was good. YouTube, not YouTube. U2 was good. Nashville thought they Strong says Nashville thought they were the bomb with the Opry, but we had the Louisiana Hayride. And it was transmitted as a longer band that went further. I didn't know that. I need to look into that. The Louisiana Hayride. That's cool. There's great music in Louisiana, though. That's another one of those. Is Cajun music or just music from that region of the country? Is that necessarily country music? There was a big discussion about this, like what is country? What is country western? That whole thing. Bluegrass versus country. People in Virginia, they're all about. There's even a bluegrass museum in Virginia, and I wanted to say why. Why? I get it, the mountains, I got it, but just the controversy surrounding what country is just fun. I don't know, it's just fun banter or whatever, but like that's a really good point. You listen to something like what's that song, Saturday Night and the Moon is Out. The arrangement of the song is supposed to be like a Cajun, real Creole kind of sound, or what is it? You just got a lot of stuff going on that you wouldn't hear in other types of country music. And so does it deserve its own genre? I mean, I don't know. Bluegrass is the same way. I can listen to, because I like playing bluegrass, but it's not something I'm going to sit and listen to for like 10 hours. I think I can listen to one bluegrass, like a CD worth of bluegrass music, right? Like 15 songs, and I'm good. I am good for a while after that because so much of it sounds repetitive. What's his name? Suggs? Billy Suggs, if I'm not mistaken. He's kind of rebirthed bluegrass. He is a gritty, modern. He brings this heavy metal feel, not in his music, but in his personality. It's kind of a heavy metal rocker to his music. Really good. Bill, we are in the North Louisiana. We're not. You're Cajun. I mean, you're not Cajun, but I'm just saying. Come on, own it. It's good. Own it. Own it. It's fun. Okay, maybe not. You cook with an iron pot. Doesn't that qualify you to? You can claim it. How's that? It's there for your claiming. You can claim that. You can claim Memphis. You want to claim Memphis? Why don't you claim Memphis? There's a reason why you don't hear me mention Memphis much, because we don't call that Tennessee. We call that Eastern Arkansas. Anything west of Nashville isn't really Tennessee, in case you are wondering. We just don't claim it. Never did. We didn't claim it back when the state was established. True story. True story. North Louisiana. So you guys don't feel like Mardi Gras comes around. During Mardi Gras, do you guys have a parade in town? That's the question I want to know. Because if you have a parade during Mardi Gras, I don't know, man. Sounds Bayou-ish to me. Bayou-ish? Bayou-ish? Bayou-ish. Sounds good. Sounds good. Bayou-ish. It almost sounds like Yiddish. Bayou-ish. I don't know. I'm thinking Louisiana would be another place, be a great place to visit. Carol and I thought about going, like, at least we were going to go to Banff until the Israel thing came up. We're going to go to Banff. The national park up there looks incredible. Actually, I'll tell you what we were going to do. We were going to drive to Alaska. That was the big trip of this coming summer. But we can't do it all. And that was going to be one of those 3-week ordeals. And the way we were going to do it, because we were going to do it, right? Not 3 weeks, but not 2. I had a plan. It was crazy, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that and do everything else that we have to do. I don't get that you pronounce Kansas, put AR in front of it, and it's totally different. I don't either. It should be Arkansas. It should be Arkansas. Can I catch a ride? I hear you, Todd. That's what we were wanting to do, is you take up through Minnesota, you swing by Banff on the way through to Alaska. And, that was the whole thing, Todd, is basically we were going to rent the SUV to go up there and then fly back. I mean, kind of cheap a little bit, because the ride back would suck, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've already done this, and now I forget how many days it takes, like at 10 hours a day or something like that, how many days it takes to get up there. But it looked It was intimidating. It was. I mean, driving's fine, but I mean, and there were some stretches that looked, I mean, it's not Australia. I mean, come on, it's not Australia. But there were still some areas there that looked pretty intimidating as far as driving without gas stations and things like that. Yes, we Mardi Gras, but we are more Texas or Arkansas. Okay, all right, that's fair. So you're like Texas or Arkansas. Here's what I'm saying. You guys are Southern, but without being like Cajun, but you guys are definitely Southern. You guys remind me more of like parts of Alabama. Not that I'm taking away your analogy of Texas or Arkansas, probably more Texas or Arkansas, but I'm saying when I think about it, I would think about it or not Arkansas or Alabama, but Mississippi. That, of course, that's kind of insulting if you're from Louisiana. I don't mean it bad towards people from Mississippi, but there's a thing there. That's the trip I wanted to take, and I thought that would be YouTube friendly as far as. But Carolyn was all about it. Carolyn loves to drive, man. She just loves to drive, and we have a great time driving. But we can't afford to do that. Just being honest with you, to do that and to do the Israel thing. 1 week pushing it. But take your time, will be beautiful. Well, it's more than 1 week. Like the week was to get up there. Then there's a national park up there that I wanted to go to. I don't remember the name of it right now, but I wanted to spend like 4 days there, and it's all up there, and then go back down to Anchorage and fly out. Like that was the plan. So you're only driving there, so to speak. If you want to do the Alaska thing for real, I can hook you up with friends that have done it. Yeah, that might be a good idea anyway, because we're going to do it. Like Carolyn and I made up our mind a little more than a decade ago, that you only live once and you can't take anything with you. And it's not that we want to sacrifice security for a good time. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about you can sacrifice toys and other things. And some people, they don't understand. It's like when one person says they're going on a vacation, and when we say we're going on a trip, it's usually two different things. You know, we don't spend the money. People, you know, Carol and I could be gone 7 days in nice places, very nice places, and spend a tenth of what other people, because our taste buds, we don't go eat steak, man. We're going out there to YouTube. When I say YouTube, we're going out there to film and take pictures. We're going out there to appreciate each other and the scenery and yada, yada. I mean, so we can do a lot. It's just the Alaska trip is a lot. But yeah, I would love to be hooked up with somebody who's done that and understands, like, okay, what are we looking at financially? What are we looking at here? What's the over under here, people? You know, a week up, 2 weeks around, and a week back. Wow, seriously? Week up, 2 weeks around, and a week back, but the other route. So what are you doing? Going up the Rockies on the way up or back? Because you can follow the Rockies or whatever, or that chain. Are they called the Rockies the whole way up? I can't remember. Rhonda wants to go on a cruise. Man, cruise. Well, good for Rhonda. I don't like to do the boat or the beach. Well, here's the thing. I hate the idea of a cruise. I don't want to be trapped in a steel can and in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of complaining people who I shopped with today, right? Believe it or not, I'm a private person. I can do this, but like when the internet's off and I'm back in the living room, I'm very leave me alone kind of person. I can get up for a day of shopping, but I can't do that kind of thing every single day. It's not me. So the idea of a cruise where just everybody's right there, I can't do it. But again, I've thought about for YouTube fodder, you know what I'm saying, for videos and stuff, because you can get these cruises, especially starting about right now. Like you could shop around and you could get a 3-day cruise. You drive to Cocoa Beach, get a 3-day cruise for like $99 a day. And I'm not kidding. I mean, you can get a cruise that cheap. We have friends of ours, they live for cruises and they talk about the food and they talk about this. And I'm like, you don't understand how much you can eat you can't eat at home for $99 a day, what you can eat there. I'm like, so what am I'm going to go to be a glutton? It's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to go someplace for the food, that's fine. I was on a floating hotel for 3.5 days, 3 days too long. That's me. Carolyn feels the same way too. This is one thing we have in common, that it's never really occurred to us to go on a cruise, but we have talked about it for YouTube, like to go. You have to look at it. Let's say by the time you drive to Cocoa Beach, that's a 10-hour drive down there. You got to get a room that night. go on the cruise for 3 nights, come back. It's going to cost you $1,200, $1,500. Can you make that much back on a video over the course of 2 or 3 years? That's how you have to look at it. The video's not going to, most videos aren't going to make their money back, but you're two things. One, they are going to make some money, and if you make enough videos, they add up. Y'all know how this works. But then you have those bangers that come out and then everybody watches them. So chances are if you could find a way to make 4 or 5 videos out of that one trip, sure. That you could probably make at least part of your money back or whatever. But man, every time we've gone to do it, we just get sick. We're just like, what else can we do? What else? I know it's $99, but what else can we do? I think the last time we said that, we ended up in Destin. I like the beach. I know Billy said you didn't like the beach. Carolyn hates it. Carolyn hates the beach. She grew up on the beach in Florida and hates it. I would have moved there. I love Cocoa. I love the mountains. Don't get me wrong. I would, if I had that kind of money, I'd have a house in both places, right? And I'm serious. I love it all, but she hates it. So when we go to the beach, it is just for me. She is doing that. She's fallen on the grenade, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And she's so cool about it. The thing is she's like, here's what I'm doing. I'm staying in here. I'm not going to the beach. But this past time we went to Destin, she was on the beach as much as I was. We had a great time. She actually went swimming. She's not swam in the ocean in years. And we actually got in the ocean. And again, later we rented the pontoon, and she was swimming at Crab Island. I had video of her swimming, and I was like, please let me put this in the video. It'd be great. She's like, don't you dare. It was great. We had a great time. There were so many jellyfish, though. It was awful. The first thing is you just do it not. Well, yeah. Hey, good day. Good day to you all, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Seriously, man, I really appreciate you being on here, and I can't say that enough. Where's our other Australian guy tonight? Somebody tell him I said hello if you talk to him. Todd says, if it works out, Bill, I'm going to Alaska. Are you really? The summer to Gold Pan, but I'm doing it in 16 days. 5 up, 5 panning, and 5 back. Wow. So you're okay. You're like going to do it to it. You need to raise some money to get a flight up there, though, if you're just going to Pan for Gold. Not just going to Pan for Gold, but that way you can maximize your time. All right, buddy. Merry Christmas to you, Big Gaz. Merry Christmas, man. I've really enjoyed it. Check us out sometime. We'll try to live stream some more this year, and it's been awesome. That is so cool, though, that you're going to Alaska. I did not know you were going to Alaska this summer. That is cool. That's something that I wanted to do. So you go Gold Pan up in Alaska, which you probably do well up there. Carolyn wants to do this train ride that is and it's in Alaska. She wants to go in the winter. This is in the winter because of the Northern Lights. She is all about, ever since Maine, we were driving in Maine. You guys know the story. And I'm looking at the top of the moon roof there, and the sky's lit up brighter than the picture behind me. And it blew our minds. It shocked us. We hadn't listened to the radio, hadn't watched any news in days. We had no idea that it was predicted. And, they were good in the South. Like here in Tennessee, they were good. But up there, it's a thing there. They do it, right? And so I'm looking up and at this beautiful array of colors, and it's just awesome. And Carolyn's like, look, there's this train that takes you to where the Aurora Borealis do this in the winter, and it's like normal. And it's like supposed to be the loneliest train in the world. Like they literally will stop occasionally for people who live out this far in the wilderness, and you can like flag the train down so it'll stop, like picking you up like a bus. It's just crazy. I watched a video on it, a younger YouTuber, so it was real hip and stuff, and that was kind of old because I was like, I just want to see. I don't really want to. I just want to see the stuff. But anyway, he's a good YouTuber, but that looks like something that we would just totally get into. I would love that. But yeah, I want to get Arkansas. That's a great idea, and I will definitely look at the meteor thing. What's it called? I got it written down. Hold on, I got to make sure that I didn't. I'm one of those people that I'm always fiddling, with the hands and stuff. So if I'm not careful. Oh, wait a minute. You sent it to me. That's right. Crater of Diamonds State Park. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check this out because that's not that far away from us. Todd says, that will blow you away seeing them in Alaska. I had been drinking the first time I saw them. Didn't think I had drunk that much. Well, I'll tell you what, man, having a flashback for me was never, I mean, I drank a lot when I was young, like, because you do. That's what your buddies do. But I had issues the other way, as far as the whole, the other stuff. And so where you do see crazy colors sometimes. So, yeah, it's like flashback. Guys, it is 10 after 10. And I am excited because tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and I still have some shopping to do. I have some grocery shopping to do because I'm making a ham tomorrow. And so I have to pick up some extra stuff and a few extra gifts. So I appreciate you. You guys, this has been great. I've had so much fun just hanging out and talking with you guys. I feel like we're at some kind of social, like a pub or something, and just just chilling. And it's just been great. And so I'll be here tomorrow night. If you guys have planned, listen, it's okay. It'll just be me. It'll just be me and whoever. That's fine. It'll be wonderful. I will see you guys tomorrow night. If I don't see you tomorrow night, Merry Christmas to you and to all. Good night.